What's the motherfucking deal? I apologize. Had to work out some technicalities, but y'all saw that little preview. What's up, Shelby GT02? Welcome to the Sauce. You the freshest flavor. But welcome to Sauce Sports, man. Everybody, shout out to Sauce Nation, man. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. So, I mean, we're talking all sports, but only Houston. So, with that being said, man, we're going to get in it to win it. But first, who we got joining us this evening in the round table?
It's Toxic City Tinny.
You got your boy Third Coast Sports TV, link in the building.
The throws to the scene, your boy Spence was good.
And you got your boy Wise in the midst.
And you got your boy Hector.
But welcome to Sauce Sports again. You know, hey, I know I apologize. We ain't had no Sunday action, and I was a little bit out of there Saturday trying to do too many things at once. But we're going to get in it. We're going to talk about the most important thing shaking in the city this evening, and that is you, the freshest motherfucking ingredients, man. We got plenty to talk about, though, in what's been going down. You know, we're going to definitely talk plenty of Texans, a little bit of Rockets action. We'll talk a little bit about the JH Town weekend just briefly. But like I say, it's plenty to splash on. But first and foremost, let's get into that roll call, man. And we're going to see who we got in the mix. If you are from the city being Houston, man, shout out your side with pride. If you're not from the city, then, well, hey, we'll still show you a little bit of digital love, man. Let us know where you at, what you represent, what you're about. We'll make sure to send a little bit of love in your direction. Let's see who we got in the mix, man, and we're gonna get right in it. So let's get to the top of the chat. Some of y'all been holding it down for a minute, so I appreciate that. Broderick Brooks, Darren Davis, Mr. Asian Pikachu, my favorite all the Pikachus, Josh Cooper, the Coon, J-Pac, what's the motherfucking deal? Quincy Jones, Julius Harris. Y'all been getting y'all flip on. Matt Ozdogan, I don't even know how to look. I'm fucking it all up, but it's all love. Heidi Kleindienst, David Pritchard, what's the motherfucking deal? Shout out to David Pritchard. Eastside Hero, Jimmy R, what's the motherfucking deal? McVice, let me see. Shelby GT, what's the motherfucking deal? Red Wolf, Texas the name. Yeah, this jumped over. Vampire Lord Homer, Anthony Bailey, T Flores, Scrooston. What's the motherfucking deal? I used to talk about some goddamn Jacksonville. You get your what's the deal taken back. No deal for you. Let me see. Red Wolf, let me see, make sure I ain't missing nobody. Like I'm going backwards to try to catch up. All right, but I think we Blink Squad, Ruben Lorenzo, what's the motherfucking deal? Seth Clark, what's the motherfucking deal? All right. Cruzito 713, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Like I say, let's talk about some things, man. We finna get into winning. We're gonna talk about what's been going down around the town. We're gonna be talking about some shenanigans that have been happening, and I just gotta spill a little something for y'all. We gonna get into something first and foremost before we just really dive into all the topics, man. And yes, Homer, that's what I want to talk about. And this is something we've been telling y'all for quite some time now. Stop believing the PFF shenanigans. PFF is not a legitimate source of stats. Now, it's if you didn't catch the podcast, man, it's stat porn for geeks. And if it was to be compared to any other kind of real porn, it'd be tranny porn because it's not what you think it is. You know what I'm saying? It's some bullshit. They selling you a bunch of okey doke ass shit and trying to make you believe this is real. It's not, man. Like, it's opinionates. It's opinions with numbers in it. And people sit here and they act like this shit is the gospel. They act like this shit is the truth. There's a lot of bias that goes into PFF and the shit that they put out. And so I'm telling y'all, man, if you come and be and say, hey, well, PFF said, I'm going to ignore whatever the fuck. I don't care if it's good. I don't care if it's bad. I don't give a fuck about PFF. Like, I'm not buying into what they selling. Like, it's trash. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said, if you had a T on the end, it'd be pff, because that's what that shit is, man. Like, that shit kills me, man. It's garbage. But again, like I know some people love that shit, but I don't. You can't sell me nothing PFF got to talk about again. Like I say, I don't care if it's PFF on from Houston. I don't care if it's PFF domains. I don't care about none of them motherfuckers, dog. Again, like I say, if you telling me that Deshaun Watson had not even a top 5 outing last week in that game, like, get off the gas. You know what I'm saying? Because my deal is, outside of the drops, Deshaun Watson played as good as you could play. There was nothing else that he could possibly do. Watson had a drop. Ellington had a couple of drops because Pope ran a wrong route. And you saw Watson get on Pope's ass about that. That's what I did like to see. I love seeing that because it shows that he's taking leadership. He's taking control. And look, year 2, it is his team, and he knows what the fuck it is, so he's going to make sure what he wants is done correctly. But again, like I said, we'll work our way around the round table, man. I just want to get your thoughts, how you feel. Like, again, some of y'all may support it. This is about my opinions on PFF. Do you you rock with PFF, Tenny, or do you kind of are you opposed to some of the shit they talk about?
Dude, man, I swear to God, if I'm ever like walking around like a panel place where people are doing interviews, or if I ever fucking run across one of them PFF bitches, I'm gonna fucking charge them up, like for real, dude. Like, just call out those nerdy looking little bitches. Like, these little fucking white boys could never fucking play no motherfucking safety, could never play no fucking ball on a fucking middle school team. I mean, they just sitting up here fucking counting beans after the fucking game. Yeah, fucking 5 for 8 after the fact when you don't even look at the fucking game footage can be something else. Like, seriously, bro. Like, it's 5 for 8, but when you look at the game, everybody's like, well, Bruce Ellington dropped one, Braxton Miller dropped one, Pope, he didn't know what the hell he was doing and got in the way of the route, which would have been a fucking touchdown. We would have had fucking 5 for 7. That's what it would have been, and a fucking touchdown. And then what was it, 79 yards? They marched down the 5th. Yeah,
it would have been 5 for 6.
Well, I thought he scored right on the other one because, like, right after that pass play, it went to 4th and 1, and then they scored on it.
You're right. My bad.
Yeah. But I mean, like, seriously, bro, these dudes. Fucking like, oh my God, I cannot stand PFF. I'm telling you right now, PFF are some fucking bitches, dude. They're just sitting here fucking drumming up noise because they probably went to fucking Watson and try to hand him a little paycheck and say, hey, you know what? Come with us, come do a commercial with us or sit down with us. And Watson was like, no, I don't want to fuck with y'all. And just walked away from that money probably and went with Old Spice and did his thing and made his own name the way he made his name. And they're upset. And now I forget which one it was. I saw one where this little white boy was talking about he's an inaccurate passer, and you saw it from last year. Bitch, what you see from last year? It was fucking 19 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. What's inaccurate about that shit? Like, this is a rookie doing this. Like, you see fucking pros fucking throwing double-digit interceptions. I'm done with PFF. Like, seriously, after today and their constant bullshit and wanting to fucking paint him in ugly colors, no, fuck PFF.
Man, and I just saw a couple of things in the chat before we get to Wink's opinion on that. So you're telling me that they gave Jimmy G a 90.3 with an INT? Seriously? When Jimmy G had all his starters in, yeah, that's what I'm saying, with INT. With all his starters in, and Hopkins and Will Fuller did not play. Let's take that into account. But he got a 90.3. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the Lamb thing, if anybody, and this is what I'm saying, this is what kills me too. That's part of the thing that you said there, Pritchard, about, they gave Lamb a 87.3 or whatever the fuck they gave him. And people are saying Lamb is good now. That's almost as bad. I'd rather y'all listen to Pancakes. At least he's at the practice. At least he's there than listen to PFF. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all would probably never thought I would say something like that. I know it's almost blasphemous, but I'd rather y'all listen to Pancakes than PFF and their bullshit. At least he looking at what's going on. He might be wrong about the shit, but they trying to put numbers on and legitimize the bullshit they saying. But go ahead, Wink, your thoughts on PFF, man. How you feel about it?
Look, man, I'm going to tell you like this, man. These motherfuckers have never played football a day in their life. They ain't never known what it was like to get up in the morning to go to practice. They ain't never known what it was like to run a 4.8, a 4.9, a 5 if they lucky. You know what I'm saying? They have no athleticism whatsoever. Like, just look at them. They all look like all they want to do. They made up a site together and shit on the dudes that used to shit on them for trying out in school. Like, bitch, go sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was the motherfuckers like the little Giants. They were the little Giants, the team that couldn't make the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So they had to create a team just so that they could feel like they would play when they were really losers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's exactly what they are. They are losers. And honestly, what people really don't even realize is they losing subscribers by the minute. Like, when you go on their YouTube and shit like that, when you actually look at their videos, they don't even be having a lot of videos like that. And let's just be real. Nobody's worried about PFF until they talk about your specific team. What kills me the most is when you have athletes who played the game of football citing PFF statistics. It makes no sense. And when people were trying to argue with you a little while ago on Twitter and talking about PFF and stats don't matter. The eye test and play and wins and losses is what matters. You know what I'm saying? Third downs are what matter. Turnovers are what matter. Points scored, points allowed are the things that matter when it comes to football. Finishing plays, which Watson did to the core, and you can't blame him because every ball that he threw was catchable. The only play I can kind of say he kind of threw it a little early, but that was but when I look at that play again, that was his fault when he missed that first drop. You know what I'm saying? Was in the way of the second drop, so I can't really. I fought the ball. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool to see Watson get on his ass, but at the end of the day, man, dude performed at the highest level. He didn't get pressured. Like he stepped up he didn't roll out. He didn't look to run. He didn't even think about running the whole game. He was slicing their ass up like cottage cheese, like that damn wheat bread I got cut open. You know what I'm saying? With the turkey, the lettuce, the fucking American cheese, the mustard, and the jalapenos, the black
like
pepper Subway. Like that's exactly how they did it. He carved their ass up and made a complete meal out of these niggas. And it's absolutely ridiculous that they shit on this man. And you got dudes like Sports Fan Entertainment and other dudes who claim that this man ain't go. And that's why I keep telling people, man, just watch the game. You'll see what I see. I've been saying forever. His mechanics and his footwork and his arm talent have increased dramatically from the moment that he was a rookie till now. People see what I'm seeing, and I called it months ago. I called it before you even saw practice. So now fucking PFF, they can all burn in hell. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't deserve rules. And why the fuck are they and why are they trying? That's what I want to know. Like, why are they trying thing about fucking? But y'all go ahead, man, because these motherfuckers are ridiculous.
This man Andrew Luck throwing interceptions.
Oh, but he gonna get a 90 on PFF. Spitz, man, your thoughts about PFF? I mean, do you see them as a valid analytic service, or again, you know, your thoughts? I mean, what are your thoughts? I don't want to impose anything. Your thoughts?
First off, Wink got me hungry talking about the Subway sandwich a few minutes ago. Damn, bro. But this is the thing about Pro Football Focus. They kind of similar to Skip Bayless, and they like to spit their own narrative because they like to use the stats that they want to use to make the argument that they're trying to make. Like I know, like before the preseason came, they dropped a quarterback list, and they had, I don't know if y'all did the video about it, but they had Watson 20. And one of the reasons why they said he was 20 because he was keen for turn the ball over. If you would watch football games, the Patriots game and the Seattle game, both of those picks were at the end of the game, garbage time, when you're just trying to make a play, when you're trying to throw a Hail Mary. Those are not legitimate picks. Those are not legitimate. He made the wrong read, or receiver fell down. Those are not legitimate. He just threw a bad ball. He just on the ball all up in the air trying to make a play. Anybody who watches football knows that. It knows that, yeah, okay, those going to count as the stats. But you don't use that in the argument, oh, he threw these many picks. Because really, instead of throwing 8 picks, he really only threw 6. If you want to be real. He only threw 6 real game picks. And for you to use those 8 picks and make him the 20th rated quarterback in the NFL, it's blasphemous. It's stupid. If you use your eyes, if your eyes tell you that he's a top 5 quarterback. Now, it's too early to name him a top 5 quarterback. So if you name him a top 10 quarterback, that's cool. But you don't make him 20th. And that's also the same. These also the same people who had Cam. That's number 17. The Cam's a former MVP. But that's neither here nor there. Like they want to use specific stats based off of whatever they want to use to make their argument. Like COVID, they have COVID as the best slot cornerback in the NFL last year. From what I've seen this past couple of days, or these past 2 weeks in the preseason and their practice, I don't see a top slot corner
Getting burned
at all, like at all. And that famous line that the ESG say, Kevin Cato, we want our money back. I think people might be saying Aaron Colvin, we want our money back. I'm just saying.
Okay. And I'm looking. I ain't jumping off the COVID train yet. You know, hey, look, we seen how Bruce been doing boys early on. COVID was looking solid against Bruce. I'm gonna give him a shot before we get all the way out. You know, we gonna have to see it when it really counts. Wise, your thoughts on PFF, and you know how you feel about some of the rankings, some of the stats that you've seen come out after this weekend.
I mean, the problem I have with them is that they don't put logic behind these stats. I mean, if you sit here and watch some of these guys, I mean, if you look at last season and a year before last, Blake Bortles is a quarterback that eats off of garbage time minutes. I mean, he got a lot of touchdowns with Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns during garbage time. They was getting beat by 40-14, 30-10, and you telling me this guy's one of the top quarterbacks? That's fucking blasphemy. They saying Deshaun Watson is number 17 at the quarterbacks and number 20. That's like, that's disrespectful. This guy was in the MVP race as quarterback last season, right behind Carson Wentz. So you telling me that this guy that had the most touchdowns in the NFL at one point is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league? That makes no fucking sense. And also this guy's accuracy.
And it took weeks for anybody even took that mantle. But go ahead, Wise.
Yeah, exactly. He did it against Tom Brady. He did it against the best of the best. He did it against Seattle. I didn't even think he could do it against Seattle, but he did it. He showed out big time. And these guys over here disrespecting this guy. And if they want to keep disrespecting him, it's fine, because I'm pretty sure he sees the shit all the time, and he's just going to add more fuel to his fire. And, I mean, this, as you can see in the last preseason game, his footwork was looking nice. His accuracy was on par, and he can make the quick reads in his offense. And that's something I want to see him get better at and progress at. And fuck PFF, because they don't know what the fuck they talking about.
Hector, your thoughts, and after Hector, we'll address a couple of the texts that have come in on the sauce line.
I mean, PFF, man, is just stats, you can use it however you want to do it, but in the end of it all, man, you can literally do whatever you want with stats. Even though I do like stats and I do think stats is important, you can twist it to make it sound better. Honestly, if you look at it, Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback, and I don't know why they want to devalue him in any way. And I mean, sometimes stats don't tell the whole story.
Thing, in a sport like football, you cannot, baseball, it may work to a degree, in basketball it works, but in a sport like football, there's too many variables for you to be able to accurately say and make a comparison using statistics only, using numbers only. But again, fuck PFF. Let's move on to bigger and better things. Now, I've seen a couple of folks that, what you got?
Honcho, you know it's bad. You know PFF ain't when on first things first, those I remember Greg Jennings called when they said that Trubisky was over. That was when they lost. That was when I was already done with them, but I was done with them when they said that they had Trubisky rated the Deshaun when he threw like 7 touchdowns, 7 picks or some shit like that. Something stupid, bro. And Greg Jennings called him out, and he was like, bro, what are y'all looking at? You know what I'm saying? So when football players who won Super Bowls are calling you out, you don't stand a chance. And at the end of the day, the football players really don't respect PFF. They ain't finna get no interviews from nobody who's noteworthy. I'm saying they just looking for a handout. They're looking for ways to piss people off, and they're doing a great job.
Wink. Can you give that one dude in the chat right now a little bit of love with your Shannon voice? The butt skip.
Well, man, like I say, fuck PFF and they bullshit. I see the name. Because like I say, man, again, you got guys who judge, and you got the actual motherfuckers who on the field making it happen, who give you something to judge. And so that's where the difference lies. Those guys have never participated in any kind of real action. A couple of things going on around town. We're mainly talking Texans. couple of guys they brought in today to take a look at. And I've heard a couple of people ask about the Webster guy who's supposed to be coming in. I don't know if he came in today. I think he's supposed to be coming in later this week, if I'm not mistaken. But they brought in a couple of corners. And what was their names? There was Sanchez, Teddy Williams, and Bryce Johnson. Now, with the situation happening to K-Joe, and then, you know, again, after those three anyway, you're kind of iffy at the cornerback position. I feel like they're bringing in some camp bodies. Like I say, these guys are all kind of journeymen for the most part. I know the Webster guy has a more solid career, so we'll see what happens with him. But your thoughts, Hector, you know, on the guys that were brought in, do you see any of them actually having a shot with the Texans, or do you see these guys more as kind of camp body types?
I mean, you know, we do need depth in the corner position. I think that's something that we still have been talking about. And I mean, some of these guys could be seen for depth reasons. I mean, if I had to pick any of them, I would probably say Webster. But I mean, I would say, you know, go ahead and let them see what they can do. And I mean, it doesn't hurt right now, especially because we do need corners. I think secondary is still a need that we need to address. And it helps always having people come in and try out.
And before I get into this, I forgot. There's let me read a couple of these texts off the sauce line. I don't want to keep y'all waiting. Look, I got to be more on top of that. So shout out to Ashmore. Ashmore says shout out to the motherfucking Sauce Nation. Appreciate that love. Chandler holding it down as always. Say shout out to the Round Table Honcho, Tinny Wink Spits Wise. Let's see. And brother says, you know, say shout out to the Sauce, man, the Round Table. Say, so you know I listen to other Houston shows. Got to say I'm hearing some of the same opinions on 610 and from McLean as I hear from the Sauce. The only group towing the company line is Vandermeer and John Harris, which are unbearable. Don't understand the hate for 610 and McLean on their opinions. Also keep in mind you may have some 610 folks who also fuck with the Sauce. Like I say, my thing with that is my big beef with, and I want to explain, that's why I want to make sure to read it out to everybody. My big beef with McLean is the Love You Blue, the Oilers, all that stuff, it's over with. There is not, I cannot, like the last 4 or 5 times I've heard this dude on the radio, in the minimal amount of minutes, I could be just running little quick errands here and there and not even really be listening to a whole segment. Any question that he gets asked, he refers to the Oilers. This is the Texans now. Okay, the Oilers are in Tennessee. Tell me about I don't want to hear that throwback shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, this all good. Like, I understand that history, but the Tennessee Titans took all that shit with them. None of that. You look in the record books, none of that shit is Houston anything anymore. I understand that was, you know, his prime. That was his glory days. You know what I'm saying? But this is a new day and age. This is a new team. None of that stuff has a correlation. Like, it's a completely different entity, and that's my big beef with that shit. Like, I get tired of hearing about the Oilers. Not saying, hey, when the Oilers were here, had love for the Oilers, but when they bounced, I cut ties. They're the Tennessee Titans. Now, there's some people who still fuck with the Titans. A lot of people who are Titans fans in Houston may fuck with that. I don't fuck with it. It's just not my bag, man. Like I say, I'm a Texans fan. That's why I'd rather hear Texas talk. I don't want to hear the old school Oilers shit. It was good while it lasted, man. But my thing is, it's again, like I said, it's a new day and age. And that's why his ass be going to Tennessee every couple of days too, and talking to Tennessee too. So it's like shit. That old double agent ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You can't be going up there showing them all this love and then coming back down here and working with the Texans too. I just I have some suspect feelings about him. Anybody else have a comment or a thought they want to put on John McClain before we get back to the free agents that got brought in?
Yes, that Jabba the Hutt looking motherfucker.
He's wrong, and he really seems like us to like. Really thinks he's, and he doesn't know shit about football. Do you know how many countless times? Now this man is responsible for reporting news. He's the conduit between the players and the fans, and every single time, this motherfucker will tell you out his own mouth, I don't get to see the practices. He doesn't even get to see the practices. He doesn't see practice. They'll make it seem like he does. Go listen to the interviews. They on 610. This man, this is the
Wink, they can't let him out on the field. There ain't enough fucking oxygen in tubes to keep that fat motherfucker out on the field breathing in this hot ass weather. This fat motherfucker sits here and hates on the team when they're good, hates on the team when they're bad, hates on the team when they're changing the shoes. I mean, this fat motherfucker always got something to say, and he ain't never right about it. He fucking misses on every fucking point he tries to make, and it's fucking beyond ridiculous. It's that he's that grandpa that when he gets to talking, you want to walk up to him and smack the fuck out of each one of his cheeks, running down the side of his fucking body.
What I got combined, your take and Wink's take. Wink says how he's talking about he can't be at the practices. Just like you say, he a double agent. He going to Tennessee every other day. They can't risk him going to Tennessee and say, hey, I seen Watson do this. Hey, I seen Lamar Miller do that. Watch out for this. They can't risk that. That's why he can't be in practice. But my thing with John McClain is that he gets on there and act like he's right and be so far wrong it's not even ridiculous. Like, I'll take you back to the offseason of 13. The whole offseason 13, he's talking about, oh, they're going to offer Glover Quinn this. They're going to offer Glover Quinn that. And then as soon as Glover Quinn goes and signs with Detroit, they never offer Glover Quinn anything. You've been telling us for the past month that they're going to offer Glover Quinn this back contract, but then when he gets signed, oh, they didn't even have a meeting with him. And he did the same thing to Boye. Well, yeah, they really want to get in bringing Boye back. But you were telling us they're going to franchise that. Like, he's always wrong. Listen to his phrases thing. He was talking about all this because the Texans had so much cap space, they're going to make splash and get 2 stars. They're going to get 2 Pro Bowlers. Just watch it. They're going to sign 2 Pro Bowlers. Outside the 100, but what Pro Bowlers did they sign? And if you want to be honest with yourself, we looked and woke up and rolled over and fell into Honey Badger's lap. But Honey Badger fell into our lap. We didn't know Honey Badger was going to get cut. So he's always wrong. That's my issue with him. He's always wrong, but gets on here and act like he's right all the time. He acts like he's right. He's acting like he's giving us good intel, but he's not telling you nothing. He's not telling you nothing. That's why you should watch Soft Sports, because we give you intel.
I see y'all boy Shaolin Fantastic, and he's a Titans fan, if I'm not mistaken, correct? And if so, Mr. Fantastic, your thoughts if you catch John McClain down there on your end. You know, I know he, like we just talking about him being a double agent because he definitely goes out to Tennessee and he talks on Tennessee radio a lot. And just kind of would like to know your thoughts on him from a Titans fan's perspective, because there's a mixed bag. Like I say, here in the round table, we don't care for him much. But again, like I say, Broderick, I think there's some other folks in the sauce who do like McClain. Again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but that's what makes the sauce so great. Everybody has, different ingredients, and we can agree to disagree. So if I'd like to hear your opinion. But let me move on to this. I want to get back to the free agents that got brought in. I think the little box that got mixed up, but I think it was after Hector was Wise. Wise, your thoughts on the guys that got brought in today and their possible opportunity of making the Texan squad? Oh, my fault. Yes. I definitely had to.
Okay. No, it's fine. But I was saying I don't want to see Diversion or Johnson Batamosi at corner anymore. Batamosi is only for special teams. He's going to make the roster just because of that. That's the reason why we brought him here. Diversion, I don't see him making a 53-man roster. He can give up big plays, pass interference calls, and we have been injury prone at the secondary position. So we need to add depth, and that's very pivotal. And I was saying, why bring in guys like Webster? Webster is a guy that's an upgrade over D version when you can bring in a guy like Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, or you can bring in a guy like Brashard Breeland. These are guys that made huge impact on their teams last season. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie is one of the best slot corners in the past maybe 10 years of the NFL. This guy's been consistent, so why not bring in a guy that's a veteran that can help out this defense and add to this locker room instead of bringing in guys that's injury-prone and guys you never heard of.
Okay.
That's the Texans' way.
They're trying to find too cheap a value, trying to find some dollar store players, hoping that they go on, give you luxury performance. It don't quite work out like that. I think everything shifted up, so I think it would be on Spitz now. Your thoughts on the guys that were brought in today, some of the free agents that were being looked at by the Texans, and then the possible addition of Webster, who's supposed to be coming in, I think, later this week.
Question to Wise. Does this mean I don't have to buy a Kevin Johnson jersey?
You still do.
I mean, you still do. Just give him time. You gotta think about it. He don't got his front seven up there rushing. He don't got Honey Badger behind him because Honey Badger gonna save him honestly this season. Honey Badger gonna be able to disguise Kevin Johnson and cover.
It's just concussion spits. It's just concussion spits.
If he needs all that, I could go back there and play corner. Shit. Shit, I can go back there and play corner. They need all that. I am intrigued about Webster. I'm like, why? It's like, why are you bringing in these guys? You can bring in some better talk. We always go after mediocrity. We always go into the bargain bin and buy the greater value stuff instead of buying name brand stuff. Like, that's all we do. We always try to do the bargain shop. We saving all this money for what? I don't know, because it's not like we give anybody these extraordinary contracts outside JJ. So I want to know who's we saving all this money for? Why we keep going after these lesser known guys? I mean, sometimes it worked, like it worked for we got Quinn Demps, that worked out for us. But let's do something else. Or how about better yet, draft a corner? How about that? Do something like that. Draft a corner. Or how about this? No, wait. I got an even better one for you. When we have a corner who proves that he's a Pro Bowl type of player, you re-sign him. Do that.
This is true. Look. I ain't gonna be taking too much more of this Kjo stuff. Y'all acting like that boy Goodwin ain't got wheels, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, all I'm saying, Jack, is look. It happens. Players fuck up. You know what I'm talking about? It was one play. It happened to be a tragic play. You know what I'm saying? But y'all acting like this boy Goodwin ain't a motherfucking track star. It wasn't like he was just walking off on Kjo. He still made the play. Damn near broke his neck trying to make that motherfucker. And he saved a touchdown. So look, he gonna be back better than ever. He hear all that right now. He laid up, you know what I'm saying, resting his neck right now. He hear all this Kjo slander. He just storing it in his memory bank. You know what I'm saying? He gonna send you a coupon to get a discount on the jersey when you got to rock that Kjo jersey. So be looking for that in the mail because it's coming. But okay, Wink, your thoughts on the additions, the guys that they brought in free agency to take a look at, and the real possibility of these guys actually making the Texans team.
I'm gonna agree with what Wise had to say, man. These dudes ain't making. Batamosi was here strictly for special teams. The only way he can come in is if he can come in and make a Charles James role, like if dudes are just getting hurt left and right, and we have no choice but to play him. Just to be playing this man, just to be. I don't know anything about Willis, so I have no comment on him. And I wanted DRC months ago. I mean, there was no reason a guy like this, with as many safeties as they had even out on the market, like Vaccaro and I know the Reed situation. It was just a whole little thing. But at the end of the day, I don't understand how a lot of these guys weren't signed. Not just to us, but to anybody. Like DRC isn't washed. He's far from washed, but he's still sitting at home when he was on a New York Giants team that was led in that. Like, he's doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? So don't you can't judge a player and they defense regressed last year, from the year prior, but they're still solid defense. We need as many options as we can, and we definitely need to go heavy corner, heavy line in this year's draft. You fix those positions, we're good to go for years to come.
Tenny, your thoughts on the guys that were brought in? Do you really see them having a possible chance of making this Texans roster?
The secondary played this last game. I mean, it's definitely a spot for anybody who's willing to take it. But I mean, honestly, some of the good things about Virgin, a guy like that, is he can tackle well. He's not a real bad tackler. I mean, at the end of the day, what was it, number 37? I saw his name earlier in the chat. That dude, he plays well. He's a little off the ball at times, but I think if he could improve himself, he could be an asset, like one of those hidden gems that we seem to find sometimes. But I mean, let's talk Texas with Texans. I mean, we all know HEB. We got the primo picks for the week playing at fucking defensive back. I mean, this is your HEB primo picks. I mean, this is your ready to go meal. Buy this, buy that, and you get this, and you can make it at home in 15 minutes. I mean, that's pretty much what we got at the fucking defensive back area. And I'm telling y'all, like I've told y'all once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, 100 times, this secondary is going to be the kind of secondary that finds success only when the front seven is succeeding at what they do. And that's going to be against subpar talent on the offensive side. And we got the easiest schedule in the league. So they're going to look good in comparison to our front seven. I mean, they're going to look like they're a midway point team. But once they play these fucking top-tier quarterbacks that we got to face this year, and there are a few that can hang a few 300, 400 yards on us. Don't expect nothing like really low like we've done before, where we held people underneath 300 yards passing. We're going to have some people putting up some yards on us just because we don't have the talent at defensive back to stop them. As far as Johnson Bandamosi, get that motherfucker out of here fucking yesterday. Like, I don't like him anymore. Everybody fucking fluffed his shit up, talked his name up, and he did not perform for us. And he looked like trash out there in that preseason game. And I don't think we're going to see a change in that. And as far as the chat, yes, I am in a fucking wind tunnel. The AC's on the fritz. I got the fan on the other side of the room. And I'm half white, half Mexican. So suck this fucking mellowed out jalapeno.
Don't hit him with the jalapeno, man. Look, hey, I'm just saying. That's too spicy for him. Don't hurt him. Oh, all right, there's a couple of things we need to get to, man. It's some real important topics. Now, we've been giving y'all the fluff and the filler, man, but let's deal with the killers. Let's really talk what's been shaking in the Texans, the most important things that have been happening. Now, we talked about that line. We've talked about the things that have been happening with that line. Martinez Rankin is back, okay? Now, so far, so good. I know initially a lot of folks were negative on the initial picks of, that were had from Brian Game. But right now it's looking like Akins. He's in the potential of panning out. I'm not going to give him the gold just yet, but he showed that he has a skill set. He showed that he's capable of doing some things. The hands are better than expected. Blocking needs a little bit of work, but he's shown that he has the potential to be a solid blocker also. But then when you're competing against, like Griffin and you ain't got to prove too much. You just got to be above average. The third of the third-round picks, Rankin, we've yet to really see him have an opportunity because he ended up, I think, breaking his foot. I don't remember if it was in minicamp, rookie minicamp, or OTAs. It was one of them. And so he has missed a shit ton of reps. He's missed a ton of chances to kind of show us what he has and what he's working with. But as soon as he is healthy, now people are trying to put him back in the conversation. First, I've seen a lot of people talking about he's going to be starting LT. And I think Davenport has been decent, if not solid, at that position. There's going to be flashes here and there. Again, that'll come with experience. But people are just trying to give the kid the position. I mean, hold on, pump your brakes. I mean, he was an okay LT in college from my view, from what I've seen, in my opinion. But again, the further in the line you moved him, the better off he was. So missing all that opportunity, missing the chance to show that skill set on a professional level with pads on, going against guys like Watt and some of these other linemen, let's pump the brakes on that and see what the kid has. Because nobody's seen what he's got. And people are already trying to throw him in the starting position. People are already trying to put him over Henderson. Henderson's shown us some good. He's shown us some bad. But, again, played solid last game. Didn't give up any pressures, if I'm not mistaken. So, again, we let's stop banking on Rankins just right now. But I want to know your thoughts, your feelings, having some more tackle depth, which is a good thing because – and it came at the right time because we already talked about earlier, people trying to talk about Lamb looking good. And y'all already know how I feel about that. You know, that's just a lamb to the wolves. But anyway, we'll start with Tenny and work our way back. Your thoughts on Martinez Rankin, you know, being healthy and he's basically a full go, no limitations on what he's able to do when he's back at practice. Your thoughts on that and what that's going to bring to the Texans and his chances of earning a starting role this season.
With how these starters have been playing so far, I think Rankin has to come in and be hands down just like the dopest fucking offensive lineman you've ever seen in your life. Like, he doesn't have a lot of time to come in here and prove it. So, I mean, he has to bring something to the table that none of these other guys have brought. And this offensive line has already got 2 solid games underneath them, and they've been playing pretty well. So, I mean, Rankins, if he can have 2 strong showings for the Game 3 and Game 4 of the preseason, then I think he could end up falling into a place in this team. He's not going to be cut. I don't think so at all. I mean, they got him up too high in the draft, and the fact that you would just cut this dude after that, now it's unlikely, especially with this coaching staff. They usually don't cut guys from first, second, or third real fast like that. Maybe the 4th if you're fucking off, and maybe the 5th if you're fucking off and you ain't doing your job. But Rankin got a good shot at this, and I think I would hope that he would kind of navigate to what I think he'd be doing better at a guard, whether it be left guard or right guard. Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't look like he's got them long arms to do tackle. So, I mean, if we can get him inside, he might be able to challenge Clowney for a spot. I mean, Clowney, he's pretty good, but I see him get a little bullied sometimes, and he's not quite a stalwart guy to be up on that front line. But he's serviceable for what we need at this moment.
I see you ask, but I know. Look, yeah, we almost at sauce line time. We'll address the Martinez Rankin talk, and then we'll open up the sauce line, and we'll have a couple of more topics I know y'all gonna want to speak on. So, about 5 minutes or so, we'll open up the sauce line so y'all can contribute add a little drip to the flavor. Wink, your thoughts on Martinez Rankin, what he'll possibly be able to do, and his chances of actually being able to start this season.
At this moment, he's good for depth. He hasn't proven anything on the NFL football field. We haven't seen him in practice. We haven't seen any of his technique. He's going to be rusty as fuck. But it's good to know that we have an extra body at the tackle or potentially guard position because we know that's what he should be playing. But, I don't have too many reservations on the situation because he's just not getting back. So I'm going to allow him to go ahead and prove himself. And, there's no need to sit here to be extra critical about his play when he hasn't shown anybody anything. So that's how I feel about it. And everybody else has been performing very well. They've been a cohesive unit thus far, this preseason. I'm not getting overexcited about the shit, but, I can understand why somebody is very excited about this O-line right now. And I can understand why anybody would have the reservations of the O-line right now. I think we all got to pump our brakes and just let the chips fall as they lay.
Oh, yeah, for the record, because, I know sometimes the streams be long, so people miss some of the information while we live. If y'all still want in on the fantasy football or the Madden leagues, make sure you text your information to the sauce line. If you haven't received an invitation yet, either, you may have been slightly overlooked or I may not have gotten to you. So if we didn't miss you or I'd have missed you, send that information and I'll make sure I got it while I got the notebook in front of me in case anybody has been missed. But I have sent out all the invitations to the fantasy football leagues for the people that I have came across. Wise, what you got?
You forgot me on the fantasy league. Shit, no.
we'll have a PlayStation League and we'll have a Xbox League. So to make sure that if y'all want to be a part of that, don't worry, most of that got muted. That was just me talking to Wise. But like I said, if y'all want to be a part of the Sauce Nation Fantasy Football, if y'all want to be a part of the Madden Leagues, make sure you text your information to the Sauce line, and we'll make sure to get you added this evening. And, and if you hadn't received an invitation or anything like that, let us know. And like I said, I may have overlooked your information. But going from that, Wise, your thoughts on Rankin and, kind of what do you feel? What is his chances of actually being a starter?
Oh, isn't it Spitz and Demi?
The people been coming in and out in the fucking video, been swapping up, so I done got mixed up. So that's all me.
I'm gonna go with Wink said. I mean, this is a guy. He's supposed to play offensive tackle. He's coming off a foot injury, so I mean, he's going to start off slow. He's going to be out of shape. I want to see him go against J.J. Watt. If J.J. Watt was folding guys like Matt McGlinchey and he's tearing up the 49ers offensive line, I want to see what he can do with this guy because I heard that Chantrell Henderson's been holding up with J.J. Watt. I've seen Chantrell Henderson hold up with J.J. Watt a little bit, and I'm still not impressed with him yet. I still want to see more film from these guys, but he just adds depth just in case a guy goes down. Right now, he needs to learn his offense. He needs to learn his playbook. The first team offensive line already has a chemistry together that they're building. So I don't see him really coming and taking somebody's spot without even having any experience. So I just want to copy and paste basically what Wink said because whatever he said was 100.
Spitz.
One thing, yeah, he hasn't beat out like he doesn't just because he's a third round pick. He doesn't deserve a spot just like that.
Yeah.
All I want to say.
All right. Spitz, your thoughts on the third round pick Martinez Rankin and what are his possible chances of being a starter this season?
Maybe mid-season if it's called for him to be the starter, but like not early on unless an injury happens and he hops in like that, or unless he just from like would be with 2 more preseason games away with like we're almost about 2.5 weeks from the start of the season. I don't think he could show that as much time as he's missed. I don't think he can make that much improvement to overleap somebody in this offensive line. I know that's not saying much, but I don't think he can just make that improvement just that fast, especially him being a rookie. Now, I mean, if he was a 2-3 year veteran, possibly, but not being a rookie, he like Wink said, he hasn't played anything in the NFL yet. He has not had one snap of real NFL football, even preseason football, or would practice or practice against the opposing team when we practice against San Francisco. So he doesn't have the clout to earn a starting position right now. Now maybe mid-season, the offensive line's not looking too good, or whatever the case may be, and he's showing he's the best player. He might get thrown in that way. But as of right now, his chances of him starting are very low. We got to see if he can play football first.
All right. Hector, out there in Never Land. What are your thoughts on Rankin and what he could potentially bring to this team, and if he has a chance of being a starter sometime this season?
I mean, as far as a starter, I don't think that's maybe interior wise, maybe he could help, but I mean that's if health wise happens. But I mean, if he shows he could be good, I mean he could provide some depth for the team, and I mean, in the end of it all, I think depth has its value as well. And I mean, if he could show that he can at least bring something to the table, I mean, yeah, I don't like using the whole fact that we used a third round pick on him as an excuse as to why he would be in the team, but I mean, if he goes out there and puts in work, then I mean, I don't see why not.
Okay. I agree. Yeah, just because it's third round again, I think a lot of people have been valuing our third rounders like first rounders this year. I mean, the third round is the third rounder, whether you have a first or second round pick, no matter what. So I mean, that's just something that you just gotta roll with. Wink, you got something?
Yeah. We don't value third round picks. We must forget that Lewis Nix and Jalen Strong, our last 2 of the last 3 third round picks that we've had over the last 3 to 4 years have been cut. Like the Nix was cut a year after we got him, and Jalen Strong was cut 2 years after he got him. If you ain't performing, if you a second-round pick on the offense or defense on this team, your ass will get cut.
All right. Let's get to the big man on campus, man, because the good news, I think the best news today that we have received, and we'll start off with Hector and work our way back. Jadeveon Clowney has been cleared. Well, today was his first full practice. No limitations, no chilling with the trainers, halfway through practice, nothing like that. And he says that he's 100%. He says that he wants to be a Texan. He says that he's ready to go. He wants to get some snaps in preseason. How do you think the Texans are going to handle Clowney from this point forward until the season starts? And, do you feel like a deal will get done still, that if he's 100%, or do you think that it's going to be probably an end-of-season situation?
Once again, I'm gonna take Brian Gaines' word and say this was his priority, so he better get it done, because I know the Texans don't like doing deals during the season, so it's either preseason or you're just, you're full of it. But with Clowney, I think I like that he's been cleared, but I definitely want them to take their time, make sure he's 100%, kind of do with the same thing we've been doing with the starters, especially because week 3 is the one where you do want to see more of your starters, but I would like to see him there for maybe 2 or 3, like maybe 1 or 2 possessions, and then that's it.
Definitely. We got next Spitz. Your thoughts on Clowney finally being back in practice and being able to, be 100%? And what do you think how do you see them handling him as far as the preseason, and with him being back healthy, does a contract get done before the season?
Well, I hope the contract gets done, because I don't want him and Honey Badger both being potential free agents. Come into this, especially if they both ball out and you have to make a decision on one and risk losing the other. So I hope that they get something done before the season starts. But I think, of course, it's good news that he's back practicing fully. I don't know if he'll get any snaps. Hopefully, he gets some snaps Saturday, because if he don't get no snaps, if him and JJ, because remember, if you look these past games, 7 of our 11 defensive starters have not played a snap of football yet. And if they don't play this Saturday, they're not going to play the last game against the Cowboys on the 30th. And I don't want these guys to come out September 9th against the Patriots rusty. I need them to knock off some rust. I know you don't want to risk injury, but they can get injured in practice. Let them play something. Let them get a couple snaps in, like a drive or 2 at least. You don't have to play a full quarter or full half, or if it's a long, lengthy drive and they use a lot injury, don't take them out. But they need to show something. Same thing with Hop and Fuller. I know these guys are veterans, but these guys, even though you're veterans, you still can get rusty. Now, I don't want you knocking off rust game 1 against the Patriots, because even though we might have the easy schedule, according to records wise, we do start off the season on back-to-back road games. You don't want to go 0-2 on back-to-back road games. Even though you got a lot of home games at the end of the season, you don't want to start off on a bad foot. So you don't want your guys to come in rusty. So you guys got to come in and play something. So hopefully Clowney and the rest of the guys on the defense can at least play a couple snaps Saturday night.
Yeah, I definitely like to see him get a little bit of action myself. Wise, your thoughts on Clowney being a full go? Does the contract get done before the season starts? And how much action should he see in the preseason before the regular season starts?
What stood out to me today was in an interview, he said that the Texans was the ones that was holding him back. He felt like he was 100% from the beginning of training camp. When I was there at training camp last week, I seen him dominating pass rushing drills. This guy was moving the bag in the sled bag 15 yards, pushing it back. He looked like the most dominant player out there other than J.J. Watt. This guy, Clowney, is a beast. He's one of the best run stoppers in the league. This is a guy I've been waiting for to get back, and the Texans better pay this man. This guy, Brian Gaines, said he's going to pay him before training camp. His contract was a priority and things like that. But I don't know what to believe with the Texans half of these days because the Texans be bullshitting half of the time. And they like to play around until they're going to really have to pay this man, Jadeveon Clowney, the big bucks because this man is going to have a breakout season this year. As we know, he came out with 9.5 sacks last season. In this season, he's only going to improve because, I mean, he's under Romeo Crennel this season. Also, he has a healthy J.J. Watt. He also has a safety in Honey Badger back there. He has Merciless coming back. He has Dylan Cole and Zach Cunningham, two downhill linebackers. That's that's leading this defense. So, I mean, if I was the Texans, I would go ahead and try to pay this man now, but I don't think they will. And as if we will see him in his preseason game, I'm not really sure. I think if we do, we'll see him for like a couple plays, but I don't think the Texans want to risk any injuries with the starters because of last season. So Luke Richardson has a key impact when we brought him in this offseason, and I think he's smarter with reducing the injuries because we see a lot of guys going down from teams with ACL injuries, and it's kind of crazy. Like the Chargers, they already lost 4 players, so I'm glad we're not in that situation this season.
Have a history of injury, so you got to be careful. Wink, your thoughts on Clowney being a full go, and how much time does he see this preseason? Does the contract get done before the regular season?
Man, I love it. I love it. That contract happens. I don't see it at all because Brian Gaines has already that that he's with this so-called or whatever it is that the Texans got going on. You know, these guys love to sit here and say, "Oh, to take." He had the nerve to say, "Oh, his pilot," a couple of weeks ago when he was talking about this situation, and I'm like, your policy, I have no policy, and like the fact that you're gonna sit here and act like you're making decisions in the nation that have been fruitful. I don't like. He had. Oh, y'all hear me? Close. Let me close some of these apps out. Hold on. All right, that should be good now.
You would say we're gonna let that let them get that together and try to get that going. And we'll jump on Tenny. We'll come back to Wink's thoughts on that. Tenny, your thoughts on Jadeveon Clowney, his situation as far as finally being healthy, and what he'll be able to bring to the table, and does he get the contract done before the preseason?
Man, how do you go into fucking hell for that one? Fucking as far as Clowney goes, man, I've been in his corner since I recognized what kind of player he was back in his rookie year, and the fucking abilities that he's been able to show to bounce back from injury. And no, last year he wasn't injured. So I don't care what anybody in the chat is saying as far as Clowney goes. He wasn't injured last year, and if he was playing through it, and he was giving us what we needed on it. And the fact of the matter is that Clowney is very talented, and no matter what, he's getting a $100 million plus contract. It doesn't matter if we give it to him or somebody else gives it to him. But I will say this, and I'll go on the record for saying this. Clowney's going to have his best fucking year to date, period. Best fucking year to date, period. And if he walks away in the offseason, I'm not really worried because Duke Ejiofor is on this fucking team, and he's just come out of nowhere, and he's been playing that Clowney spot opposite of fucking Brandon Scarlett. So, I mean, I love Clowney. I love what he brings to this table. I love that he's ready to go. He's taking the time to heal himself. The Texans aren't forcing him into a position that he doesn't need to be. We will not see him this preseason, but we will see him possibly game 1, depending on how he feels. So I am ready to go. I'm on the Clowney train. Wherever it goes, I'm not getting off as a fan of his.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on a Clowney train too. As long as he in the city, I'll probably still be able to give me some free drinks and shit. So I'll definitely, as long as he around and I can milk something off of his existence, then I'll stay on the Clowney train myself. All right, Wink is back. Let's see. Yeah, you sound clear now. Let's get your thoughts now again on the Clowney situation.
Yeah, I honestly feel that, Brian Gaines is full of shit, man. Like, the dude, well, like, it was a few weeks ago, like, this motherfucker had an interview talking about his policy. Bitch, you just got here. How the fuck you already gonna have a policy in place that was already on Bob McNair, Rick Smith, and all the guys before you? And all you're doing is following suit because you don't want to lose your job anytime soon. So you'll do whatever it takes to be a good boy in the meantime to make sure you don't ruffle any feathers. That's just the kind of guy I can already tell he is. And I can tell that just by body language. He's willing to feed you anything just so you can stop asking him questions. As far as Jadeveon Clowney, glad to see him back. I mean, he's been healthy for quite some time. The team was taking precautions with him because they didn't want him doing this. They didn't want him doing that. Clowney was ready a while ago, but they'll make it seem like, reports like he's not ready and he need to do this and he need to do that. Yeah, he's getting work. Yeah, he's doing this. And you could have been doing all sorts of things with this man, showing how he looked on the D-line. You know what I'm saying? And, because we've been playing a hell of a lot of 4-3. It'd be amazing. And they need to play him. They need to play J.J. Watt. They need to play every single starter. Nobody is oblivious to being rusty on the football field. Not even Tom Brady. If the GOAT Tom Brady is playing in a fucking preseason game that's meaningless and is out here playing a couple of drives, nobody else in this league is above reproach. To sit here and act like no player like J.J. Watt ain't on Tom Brady's status. So why, because he had a couple of injuries, why is he not prone to be able to be out on the field because you're scared that, he might get hurt? Play the man. He needs to play, period. Everybody on this football team needs to play quite a few snaps.
It's a different situation, though, because, like, if you look at Watson compared to some of our guys that are sitting out, Watson's actually going in there putting in some time. Yeah, it's been only one drive in the Chiefs game.
We got a call coming in on the South side. We're going to take this call to get back to that point. What's the motherfucking deal we got calling on the South line this evening?
Yo, it's the best commentator in sports. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, this is Mr. Trejo, but just wanted to call in and kind of address a couple things to what that Greg been talking about. First of all, there's not a blowout. Things out of proportion with the cornerbacks. I mean, Colvin got beat in the play where the quarterback literally had freaking 7 seconds to throw the damn ball. I mean, tell me one corner that can cover for that damn long. So, and another thing, Cornell wasn't really scheming, so that was just kind of like cover your man and cover on him as long as you can, and basically 7 seconds. I mean, shit, the only quarterback I know that probably wouldn't be scoring the touchdowns is probably Cyrus and Chubb. Second thing is, the reason they ain't playing these starters is they too scared to get these players injured. And, especially with the nutritionists and the trainers in place. Man, if y'all been really looking at the league, man, people are dropping left and right with injuries. And we thought that the Texans got hit with an injury bug last year. I think the whole league is getting injured. And thank God we really haven't seen anybody but maybe Kevin Johnson with the concussion the other day. But reports are that today he was feeling better. Hope he's feeling better. Maybe something dinged in his head and maybe he starts covering a little bit better. But other than that, man, I think Watson looked very sharp. I'm not panicking. What is it, Batamusi, his name? I mean, he got an interception. Yeah, it was a tip, but I mean, I'm not too sure if Kevin Johnson gets that tip. So, I mean, he did get an interception. Let's give credit to that man for that. On top of that, I mean, at least our D-line backups are looking pretty good. Running game, though, man. Our running game has been struggling ever since Arian Foster has left, and I don't know what's up with that, but we need to fix that for sure. Because if we want to get that play action going, we're definitely going to need that run game, especially for teams like, that have good corners, that have good backs. But anyways, I just want to drop that real quick with you guys and say, don't panic. We got this. This looks to be a good year for us.
All right. That's a bet. Appreciate you, man, calling in. Man, something you just said, it made me think about it real quick. Did after the emergence of Pope that first game, did he look a little bit more lackluster to you in the second game? I mean, did he kind of fall back down to earth, in your opinion?
He did. I want to jump on what Asmel said. Asmel, Johnson Bandamosi fucked up that whole game. I don't give a fuck. He got a tipped pass. I mean, he really shit the bed on that game.
The receiver,
he was getting
didn't
toasted.
Make the play.
It's not that hard to catch a tip.
Yeah, it's really not. And Bandamosi was just in the right spot. I mean, it was right there in front of him. He reached out and got it. But at the same time, Johnson Bandamosi got beat like a fucking drum. Like, I mean, he was a fucking musical instrument out there, and the 49ers were making songs with his ass. So, I mean, Johnson Bandamosi, I'm not feeling him for this team. I mean, I do not give a fuck if we cut him loose.
I feel like we made all the same points he made when he called in. So I really don't feel like touching on these things because these are the things we've been saying the last couple of weeks in camp. And, I mean, it's been consistent with what we've been saying. And I think these things are true. And it's been shown on the field. And guys got to give us our credit, but guys don't want to give us our credit. These guys don't even want to like our video. They need to like the video. Y'all need to get these likes up. Y'all want some sauce. Y'all want some flavor. Y'all got to get these likes up. Y'all can do better than that.
Asmel, I'm willing to bet that Johnson Bandamosi doesn't make an impact this year at all. I'm willing to bet that. Would you bet your name to his name? Because I'm willing to say Johnson Bandamosi is not going to make an impact.
I say that he'll make an impact on special teams, but not as a cornerback. I say he'll make a special teams impact, but not a cornerback impact. That's where I'll go with that one.
With him, and one thing that he kind of threw me off with was right before the call ended, and he said panicking. Who's panicking? You don't see any of us panicking at all. I mean, we're making an honest assessment about what we see. I don't see any panic at all. I mean, I see no situation.
I'll take that bet, Asmel.
It's fearful of anything. I just want dudes to play. I want to see the finished product before they actually get on the field. I want to see this whole fucking team. And at the end of the day, this is why people shit on the Texans. Let's be real. Get these dudes on the fucking field to answer some of these goddamn questions. We wouldn't have this. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
To get back to what Wink was saying, like I get Holden, Clowney, Watson, Hopkins, and all those dudes because their bodies require more physical work to perform their positions than a quarterback actually does. Whereas why Brady's playing a few more drives, Watson has been out there one drive, 2 drives, and that's it. But at the same time, Watson is a higher profile player than the rest of the guys we've been sitting. And I think out of all of us, we would like to see Watson more at the same time. But if you were comparing their sit time, you'd have to question, well, why isn't Watson sitting the same amount of time? But at the same time, their positions demand more of a physical role, whereas Watson, he's shown that he's a pocket passer. He's shown that he's going to rely and trust on his line. And that's pretty much what Bill O'Brien's putting them in the situations.
And I want to understand, how are we panicking about bringing in extra corners? Because I mean,
they look terrible.
You gotta add depth, and the team knows it. They wouldn't work out any other corners for no reason. They see that these guys are getting beat on plays. They know that we have.
Well, let me unmute you. All right,
hey, it's your boy Josh again, man.
What's the motherfucking deal, Josh? What kind of sauce you want to splash on the line tonight?
Hey, about the last call I asked me, I was just saying with him, it's like, I guess that could be a problem with the Texas fan. Y'all was saying before how people, like, I'm not saying, like, overly excited, and I'm glad y'all, doing this for the sauce being, like, just pointing out the little things because that's what makes the team better at the end. But, yeah, I don't want to see Bandamosi then play another snap again. Like, he didn't make me turn the game off the other night. Like that was ridiculous. But, yeah, I'm glad to see Clowney back, and the Texas League out here and just pay this man, because they need to set a good precedent, like, paying your first-round picks, because if you don't pay your picks, like, when they thrive, then it sends a message to everybody else in the league that you're not serious and I don't want to be contenders at the end. So that's all I got to say.
All right, appreciate you calling in, Joshua, man. Very, very valid point, man. Very valid point.
All right, man.
He's not lying about the message, though, because right now that does send out a message, and right now it seems like the Texans have only been sending out bad messages to the league. What positive messages have been coming from this camp? I mean, what positivity has been coming from the Texans organization? If you were a player, what do you see about Houston? What do you see about Houston as a player that makes you say, that's a place I want to be?
Let's not get too far off base of how this season has started already, this camp. These guys are actually showing up and actually having some fun. Clowney's not stressing on his contract situation. So I think the vibe amongst the team is pretty good. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of these players that are on our team understand the simple facts that this is a business. Let's not get attached. The fan base may be great in its own right, not all the time. Well, I'm not going to give us that 100% credit, but the fan base is good sometimes. But at the end of the day, this is business decisions. If the Texans ain't going to pay me, I'm going to walk to the person that's going to pay me.
I absolutely agree, man. And Joshua was on point with his call. Appreciate you calling in. Make sure that man gets his honey K sauce because he deserved it. That was a phenomenal call. You know, we try to keep a level of reserve on this show because we know fans get excited and they get their hearts broken because we won the same place. But like I said a few days ago, when you're on camera putting your name on something, I can't hide from this. I can't hide from my opinion online because people are going to hold me to a certain standard. No one in the comment section outside of the people who are going to call in on the sauce line are going to be held to anything. You know? So when we just making an assessment of things we see, things we know, and we know the tendencies of this team. That's why they're so easy to predict and they're so easy to talk about because they've been doing the shit for as long as we've been fans. Some of us been fans longer than others. I remember seeing this stadium being built. I remember seeing Astroworld being torn down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember all of this shit. So it's just like you want to be every part and you want to be involved as a fan, but you got to understand the organization doesn't care about the fans nowhere near as much as they should, and they're willing to lie to us and put people in positions and give people credentials who are conduits to the fans to give us false information. Meanwhile, we're putting out accurate information and we're practically nobodies to the Texans organization, and we know more about their organization than they actually do being inside the organization. You don't go to them. If anything, y'all going to them just to say, man, did you hear this bullshit that they said on 610 today? Did you hear what fat-ass John McClain said today?
On here. All right, who we got calling on the sauce line this evening?
What's up? This is Wednesday. I'm calling because I want to spill my sauce on, you know, the Texans front office and the history.
Right.
You know, from not signing Peyton Manning to letting people like Connor Barwin walk, Ben Jones, you know, all that. All I'm saying is we've been settling for mediocrity for the past how many years now? You know, I just think if we want them to take us serious, we gotta stand and make them. We gotta make them want to take us serious because, like I say, we the one that's making the money, all right? So boycott the league, you know what I'm saying? I mean, boycott them tickets, boycott whatever, make them take us serious, make them want to win, right? That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as fans, you have to show your disdain. You have to show your disapproval about what's going on with this organization. But we have, I think right now, especially with the political climate that's going on around the league, a lot of other things like the actual fans who are actually want to show concern for the team, not having to do with this political decision or that political, they get kind of washed up under everything else. Because I saw some shit I told the other day because it had nothing to do with the text, but the Daryl Moore talking about he subscribes to the Wall Street because they were talking about, you know, free press. Because something happened with the president talking about don't listen to the press because they're all lying to you. And he said he subscribes to the Wall Street Journal, a couple other magazines, and he mentioned the New York Times. I saw people say, well, I'm not watching Rockets games anymore because Daryl Morey subscribes to the New York Times. I'm like, That like, and if you believe in that, you dumb as shit. Like one, like don't nobody give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's people like that who talk about I don't want to see politics in my sports, and they bring it in themselves. Like that shit is so fucking ignorant to me. But
we need to be concerned about. Like seriously, who writes? Name one person besides John McClain at the Houston Chronicle. Name one.
Man, Ed, you're absolutely correct on the point that you're getting at, man. Because in today's climate, the political fucking mix that's coming into the way people think and make decisions, it's almost faith-based, man. I mean, it's like trying to argue Jesus with somebody, and if you got a different denomination name on the top of your Jesus, and it's fucking crazy, and people are at a stupid faith level base on this shit. We talking real sports here. We're not mixing any of that bullshit in. I don't give a fuck what you are. I don't give a fuck if you pink on the inside or pink on the outside. I mean, we talking football. We talking the basics of it. We're talking what we like and what we don't like. And I saw Asmel talking about he could debate fucking Seth Payne. Seth Payne's part of the Matrix, and you live in that Matrix, Asmel. You will fucking eat that slop and thinks it's steak. All right? Because that's the way you talk sometimes.
Seth Payne is easy to destroy into the debate, bro. We have calls. We have 3 separate calls that are on iTunes right now that are up right now where I've called in and they couldn't refute not one point. And because they couldn't refute my point, they did everything I could. They did everything they could as soon as I was off the call to destroy the Sauce name. But at the end of the day, they're taking things from Sauce Nation and putting it on their show because they're losing their fan base. They have nothing but old, crippled, the older crowd between 50 and 60. They got some sprinkles of maybe 20, but I can almost guarantee you 18 and below are not listening. 30-year-olds maybe here and there. And they're easy to listen to when you're driving home from a Texans game. I mean, how hard is it? You're the only post-game show on at that point in time. Other than when Mark Vandermeer is giving his final thoughts on the Texans app. And you don't even have to listen to Sports Radio 610.
Uh-oh, 16 they got him. They just swooped in. They took it. Man, they came in. Let's catch a couple of these texts that's on the that's on the Sauce line, man. I don't want y'all to feel left out behind the calls, and we'll address a couple of these things, and then we'll wrap it up here in just a few. And we will have a den tonight. I know y'all have been getting neglected in the den the last few days, so there will be some den action this evening. But the Mixer crew, y'all can get fucked over tonight. Y'all ain't getting no love. But Roger says, man, any opinions on He says, any opinions on Braxton, Irvin, and other guys on the bubble? Who's new on the bubble, and whose bubble has popped thus far? Man, that is a good question. I kind of feel like Braxton dropped himself down a tier with that drop. And I kind of mentioned on the podcast, make sure y'all check out the Sauce Sports Podcast. If y'all don't, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, and it should be on Spotify soon also. So make sure y'all fucking with that. I drop those usually before the Sauce as soon as I can. And I was kind of mentioning that. I was like, I think Braxton kind of set himself back with that because that I mean, even though if you go back and look at it, it wasn't you generally want the pass to be in front of him, so you can hit the receiver in stride, but it was still a catchable pass. I mean, that's you talking about first time junior high receivers catching that type of pass. I mean, it was there. If it hits your hands, and again, you not having to reach out and it still, I mean, it was still within your body space. You know what I'm saying? He should have caught that easily. I don't know if he was a little bit afraid of the hit or if the hit really jarred it loose more so. I think that kind of dropped him a little bit because you saw him kind of out the game for a few plays after that. Then you seen him come back in, once Whedon was there and then kind of more so with Webb and things like that. But it was a play right after that, and I don't know if y'all noticed, Braxton was open on that play. I think the play, maybe like 2 plays after that, he threw a pass to Ellington on the left side. Yeah, Braxton was open. Like, he had created separation and everything, but I think at that point, Watts was like, I don't trust that nigga. I ain't throwing this motherfucker the ball. I mean, it would have been an easy TD had he done it. But I think he lost a little bit of faith in him. Yeah.
I think what saved Braxton was the fact that Sammy Coates caught that concussion. I really think that's what saved him. Like, that one play might have thrown him on the bubble, but at the same time, with Sammy Coates going down, he's going to get a few more reps come week 3. And I think he saved himself. I think the dude's bubble who bursted was Johnson Banzamosi. I'm on his ass this week until he proves me different. And the dude that might be on the bubble, might be, and I said it on the last stream on the post game, just the way this fucking team runs and the way they act, Sammy Coates might be on that bubble just because of the fact that there's opportunity, and if somebody shows up, they can take a spot from him.
We ain't heard Hector been hiding in the mix for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I want to know your thought. Hector been getting overlooked. I know you have maybe having some little technical issues. It's all Gucci, man. I want to get some of your opinions on. I know you've been getting overlooked a little bit. Who's on the bubble? Whose bubbles popped? Who got a magic wand and they blowing bubbles, man? Let me know your thoughts on that one, Hector.
Oh, I mean, you're definitely gonna have to say Sammy Coates, especially because of the concussion. But Johnson Banzamosi, I mean, you can say he's on the bubble, but special teams is definitely gonna be the reason why we keep him. But Braxton Miller, I don't think he's in the bubble yet, especially now with Sammy Coates in his situation. But you have to say the other receivers that came in, especially the one that got the game-winning touchdown. I forgot his name, but definitely made. Yeah, Vince Smith. He definitely made a name for himself on that game, even though it's preseason. But to come up pretty big in a play like that to get the dub is definitely bodes well for him. And I mean, now with the Sammy Coates situation, it does boost him up in a bit. So Braxton, I would say, is not in the bubble yet, but he definitely needs to step it up in this next coming game if he doesn't want to be in the bubble.
And that, I mean, is that kind of concerns me about Braxton is the fact that there's so many, or that there's been a couple of injuries at that wide receiver position. I don't know if he's just been outplaying these other guys. So again, first when Kuti was there, it was Kuti. Nobody was talking about Braxton. Kuti gets injured, Braxton gets more reps. Hey, Braxton's not looking half bad. And then now, because there was a lot of talk about Coates too, and it was kind of neck and neck with Coates and Braxton. Now Coates is out of the picture. Is Braxton benefiting more from the injuries or more from his actual performance? Because he's gotten a significant amount of time. He's been taking those extra reps and things like that. What is it? Is it his actual play, or is it actually the reps that he's getting?
I'd say both.
It's a mixture.
Week 1, I would say it's performance, but week 2 is definitely because of the injuries.
I'd say both. You have to say both. He's obviously benefiting from Kiki not being in right now. He's going to end up increasing his reps in practice this week, so he's going to be able to get in a lot of good work. But I'm pretty sure both guys. Kevin Johnson's fine, so he may be cleared to play. And I'm pretty sure if the concussion wasn't that bad with Sammy Coates, he might have to play. Especially considering the fact, and he may force the issue to want to play because, hey, who knows how many receivers they want to pick. You have to think about all these things, and as a player, worry about what you can do on the field.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm going with both on that one, man. It's just been a mixture of talent to separate this year, and just injuries are giving him those opportunities and those reps.
I see a couple of guys, man, definitely whose bubbles may have. I think Irvin, his bubbles popped. I think that's a pop bubble right there. I think I saw somebody else, a couple other mentions you had, because Irvin had some significant opportunities to try to make a name for himself, and he just wasn't looking at it, especially when you got guys like Pope, who could have been a little bit, his stock could have dropped, but his stock was still high enough from the prior game that you kind of had respect. I mean, I want to say, was it the Coleman kid that looked kind of Coleman was the one, he had the fumble, and he was the one that was beefing with Webb.
Oh my God, yeah, Coleman was.
He was beefing, so his stock might have dropped because he'd be Webb out there fighting over the ball. Goddamn. And Anderson, man, I'm a fan of Anderson, but he's probably on that brink.
I want him to make this roster so bad, but he's definitely on the bubble. When I didn't see him in the game until late in the fourth quarter, and they panned in, and one of the announcers was talking about him, that was the moment I knew, man. I don't know, man. it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
there's something off the field, something behind the scenes that we're not watching or we're not seeing right now that's going on with Anderson. So I mean, I don't know. I hope he strains it out and has a successful career in the NFL. But right now, it looks like the Texans are not his home, and you got guys like Akins, Thomas, and fucking Pruitt ahead of him.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to McVice. I appreciate it. I mean, I know. Hey, the coffee mug, even though you're not a coffee drinker, I mean, it holds water, makes it the most refreshing. You could take muddy water, okay, put it into a Sauce Sports mug. It'll be the purest water that you've ever consumed. It's like an automatic, invisible filtration system. This is Sauce Sports technology nobody else has. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. But no, I appreciate it. If you cop some merch, man, I definitely appreciate the love and the Sauce support. So thank you very much for that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it could be drink. You know what I'm saying? You know, not the fake drink. You know what I'm saying? You get some real drink. It will intensify the effects. I mean, it just magnifies the greatness of anything that you put in the mug. So, you know, it's aerodynamic, easy for travel and all that other good stuff. But
you definitely putting in work, bro, because when you did the post on Instagram yesterday, and when you said no sauce, but you was like, check out the merch, and when I go look, I'm like, man, it's a lot of shit on here that I need. Yeah. And the main thing I want is that red sauce shirt that I've been wanting forever.
Check the track. It should be. They're supposed to be there by tomorrow. So let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I already told wifey. Wifey what was up. She already know. So to be on the lookout for that, because the moment I get it, I want that motherfucker, because I got to have that sent to me, because I'm gonna be where I'm at for quite some time. So what other better T-shirt that I have to be on part of the round table, you know, talking about South Sports. We're gonna make sure we advertise the shit out of this shit, because when they asking who the fuck we are at 6'10", bitch, look at my T-shirt though.
All right. Yeah, if the Zazzle link is tripping, it should be you should be able to go to staysaucy.com. And that's a good idea, Ken. It's some slides. Slide in on them boys with some slides. There's some socks on there, but I hadn't thought about some slides. Like I said, there's plenty of stuff, some other things coming. Like I say, we definitely gonna keep working on it. But I was gonna say this mug though is only gonna be going till the end of the month. This one's on a different link than the Stay Saucy. I'm laughing at Voodoo. That's the Zazzle link down below. That's a specific link, but at the end of the month, I'm gonna stop selling that one. This will be the only ones that have the phrase at the bottom that says the best sports talk show in Houston. The other ones on staysaucy.com won't have that. So again, limited edition. Make sure you get that, and you can customize it with any color that you like. So man, get you some of that action. But let me make sure we didn't caught all the text. There's actually another text. Man, something I want to talk about real quick, and something we had kind of discussed briefly, and I want to kind of get on before we get up out of here. AP's a Redskin. I mean, how do y'all feel about that? Does that change the game for them, or is that some move that the Texans should have
made? No.
Yeah. I mean, it's just them filling a roster spot. We saw what he did last year, and I think the tank is empty on AP.
Okay.
We saw what all we needed to see from AP from last season. I don't think he's gonna get any better. And I think with the offensive line that Washington has, it's definitely not a good place.
Yeah. As far as AP, I'd rather have him over Alfred Blue, but I mean, outside of that, I mean, we really have nothing to look forward to when it comes to the backup situation. Like that's a serious talk that we need to have on probably tomorrow or during this week. Who the fuck is going to fill the role for the backup position? Because the run game, when Lamar Miller, and it didn't even look good when Lamar Miller was in this game. Not sure what it maybe if it was play calls or they just, you know, I did say that, you know, their front seven would pose some problems, but that could have been the situation. But if that is, then that's going to be a problem throughout the season. So it's one thing that we need to seriously get corrected, and we need to seriously ask ourselves as fans, what real option do we have behind Lamar Miller until the form is clear to play?
I really think I think it's going to go Lamar Miller, Pope, and Blue. Everybody else will just be off on the cut.
See, what makes me mad about it is the Texans had the opportunity to address this situation in the draft. They had the opportunity in free agency to bring in another running back. They knew we wasn't going to have Deontay Foreman by week 1. We knew we was going to have to patiently bring him back. So why wouldn't you add another running back? You know the running game was going to struggle. You know Alfred Blue gives you the same thing. This is the things I be talking about with the Texans. They do the same damn thing instead of looking for high top tier talent. I mean, come on. I mean, we know the running game struggled last season. You got to fix these situations, especially going into the season. If you want to talk about Super Bowl, well, the first thing you got to do with bringing in a Super Bowl is bringing in a strong roster. And we don't have a strong roster when it comes into that running back position. And the run game is very pivotal when it comes to playoffs and when you can stretch the clock for Deshaun Watson in that defense.
And I don't understand. I mean, honestly, Brian Gaines isn't doing nothing different than Rick Smith would have done.
Exactly.
All right. Well, shout out to Ray Moore, man. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how old you are. I hope you ain't too old or too young. Go have some fun. Go do some shit. But if you're as young, go to school and make some good grades. I'm going to tell your mama. However that works. You know what I'm saying? If you're tripping at work, I'm going to tell your old lady. Whatever it may be, happy birthday to you, man. Have a good one. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the thing with the Texans, man, is just that once again they're just not bringing in the people that, and I guess the other issue is that they want to look for the good moral value character guys, and honestly, at one point, you know, something's just got to give. I mean, I think we're all.
Okay, hold on one second. We got a call coming in on the sauce line. We'll take this call real quick. What's the motherfucking deal, VD Child? What kind of sauce you want to drip on the sauce line this evening?
Well, you know, I got a cat fact check things here. You said Brian Gaines ain't doing nothing different than Rick Smith did. So I'm going to put some curl on that and say, whenever did Rick Smith address the safety position? I'm going to go hang up and listen now. Oh.
All right. That's a bit.
Daniel Manning? Can I say Daniel Manning? Can I say Ed Reed? Can I say fucking Moore?
Let's not say Ed Reed. Let's not talk about that.
Let's not say Ed Reed.
We can say those names because he went after those players at those positions. Like, what are you talking about, VD?
The fuck are you talking about? He got Quentin Demps back in here, and he was the player of the month. He drafted DJ Swearinger in 2013. He brought Ed Reed here, even though that situation failed. What the fuck? Well, yeah, what are you talking? No.
VD,
after Glover Quinn.
Sit down. After Glover Quinn. I mean, who did we go after? I mean, because Glover Quinn led. Swearinger. And Quentin Demps. We brought him back. I mean, you asked VD. You asked a simple question. Did you say who was he successful on? I mean, yeah, that would be a question, but at the same time,
he still addressed it.
Who has Brian Gaines been successful on yet? Because none of these guys have proven anything on a real, actual game.
Hey, my bad, y'all. My phone died.
My phone did the same shit, bro.
And I'm no Rick Smith protector. Like, seriously, I do not ride with him.
But to answer the question, we can't sit up here and really give Brian Gaines credit for the honey badger. I mean, if you're gonna give somebody credit for the honey badger, give it to JJ. They have the same agent. Like we lucked into getting honey badger. Like, we can't sit up and act like that was part of the plan. We had a press conference a week before honey badger got cut. We had a press conference bringing in all the free agents that we signed. We were done. Free agency was done with us until honey badger became available. So we can't come up here and be like, okay, he actually went after honey badger. No, we looking to get honey badger because we're close to New Orleans. And him and JJ have the same agent. Only thing I give him credit is the contract. But other than that, I don't give Brian Gaines credit for bringing in honey badger.
Okay, he says not talking about the honey badger. He's talking about with his first pick. With when did Rick Smith make safety a priority?
He made it a priority in 2013 when we lost Glover Quinn and he got DJ Swearinger in the second round. What the fuck?
Yeah. But why lose Glover when Glover was proven?
The thing is, you can find a safety at any round. I mean, you can
VD, like, you're talking about Justin Reed like he was a first round pick, bro. He was third round pick. Like, how has Brian Gaines prioritized anything like that? Like, I'm on the fences waiting for Brian Gaines to get a full year with a full squad and people that his guys research and put profiles together on. Like I'm willing to give him that, but let's not fucking praise him for shit that he's picking and pulling from a Rick Smith bin. All these decisions came from the Rick Smith greater value bin. Okay.
All right. Well, we got a call coming in. I'll take this call.
Oh God.
What's the motherfucking deal, Chandler, man? What kind of let me see, make sure you still okay. What's the motherfucking deal, Chandler? What kind of sauce you want to spill on the line tonight?
I got a question for the round table. I was just thinking that Martinez Rankin dude. Do you think that he should not start, or should he start on the guard position or the right tackle position? That's my question.
That's a bad man, Chandler. I appreciate you calling in and showing love, holding down the sauce line, man. Shout out to Chandler. I think, like I say, personally, I think you move him inside. But again, he's going to have the opportunity to prove himself. We're going to take this other call, and then we'll let everybody have a chance to spill some sauce on that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling on the sauce line this evening?
Yeah, it's Ed, man.
All right. What's the motherfucking deal, Ed, man?
Just want to give a shout out to Spitz for, returning after a long hiatus. Okay. And also, just wanted to ask the roundtable if cornerback is a major concern, and if the Texans should find a trade to, or maybe in the waiver wire to better help the depth in that position.
Okay. All right. That's a bit, Ed, man. I'm going to hang up on you. We'll definitely dive into that one. I appreciate you calling in. I'll make sure you get your sauce for that. All right.
And that needs to happen.
Trade would be awesome.
And two of our weakest positions or so supposedly are tackle, which Martinez Rankin is not. I don't care what they said about him in college. He is not a right tackle or left tackle. Period. He didn't address corner. Not a corner. Not a number one or number two corner. You got a depth player because you believed in the guys that you already had. He believed in Kevin Johnson entirely too much. When Kevin Johnson should be a third or fourth option on this football team, but we need to do something, man. Give DRC a call. Give Breeden a call. Give any one of these guys, because honestly, I'm not impressed with Kevin Johnson. I haven't been in the last year and a half or so, and he's gonna put himself at risk and make sure that he doesn't play football because he doesn't have proper technique, man. His technique sucks. He doesn't get his head around. That's all. That's still a problem, and he doesn't protect himself, man. He just doesn't.
Look, I'm gonna put it like this: Brian Gaines is in a situation that absolutely you can't pull from anybody in the league and say that they can come to our organization and fix all the problems that we had. Now, that's a fucking fact. Like, we have situations that have been outstanding situations for years upon years, and a lot of it's because of Rick Smith. It's part of the reason why I'm glad that he's not part of this organization right now, making fucking picks and doing all that shit. But at the end of the day, I mean, we can only fix so much with what we had going into this offseason. And right now, it's just one of those things where we just got to take a step back and realize secondary is going to be that issue. Guys like Brady are going to bomb us and take us down, take us deep and cut us deep. And hopefully Rack has plans to kind of deter that.
Okay. Here's the deal, man. We're going to get ready to start kind of winding it down here. Got a couple of things I got to go take care of, and then make sure I get y'all some DN action tonight, since I did promise that. But again, we will be back at it tomorrow at 7. We'll be talking more Texans didn't really get a chance to talk about the JH Town weekend, so we'll speak on that a little bit tomorrow. And didn't really get to deep dive in some of the thoughts that I had about the Webster guy. I know a lot of people are high on. And I kind of did get into it on the podcast, so if you want to check that out, man, go check out the Soft Sports podcast, because I did dive a little bit deeper into the cornerback situation, about the guys that brought in, just kind of a little bit more about their background and things like that. But you guys have anything y'all want to say before we get up out of here?
I appreciate everybody tuning in to Sauce Nation. I'm kind of disappointed, you know, due to what happened this weekend, and I'm kind of disappointed in what Voodoo Child, when he called in, his call was ridiculous, and I gotta say that, bro, because it was absolutely ridiculous what you called in and said. I gotta say it, and because y'all call me out whenever y'all think I say ridiculous shit, so that was a ridiculous ass phone call that you had, and you know, hopefully, you know, it's not a recurring thing. Because you seem like you're a pretty good fan. You seem like you're knowledgeable. But come on, man. Come on.
I appreciate the lively talk that the chat brought today, even though y'all seem to be spoon-fed on a little bit of the nonsense tonight. But I will respect what you had to say, guys. I mean, yeah, y'all mixed it up, and whether it's spicy or bland, this sauce was good tonight.
Anybody else got anything they want to say before we get up out of here?
Oh yeah, I appreciate everybody out there. I know I've been gone for a minute. I had a video that I was dropping, but I had to re-record it because something was wrong with the audio. So I don't want to just give y'all old takes. So I got to redo the video, but it should be dropping tomorrow. But I just like to shout out everybody and appreciate y'all tuning in to us.
If you sent your PS4 names into Honcho, I added you today. I'm gonna do the draft pretty soon. I'm gonna set up that league. I already added the guys Honcho sent me so far. So if y'all want to be in that Madden league, y'all go ahead and send y'all link to Honcho. I can add y'all boys, and y'all boys be ready to get whooped because we're doing a fantasy draft and we're gonna have some fun on this Madden 19.
I only got one more person to add. I got Red over Gray. I already got Panda Bear. Y'all already added y'all on this. Y'all already friends of mine. I got one other person, the other person that you sent me in the thing. I'll get ready to add them on right now because I'm on Xbox. So I'm going to send you a request wise, a couple of other guys, you know what I'm saying? You see, this dude's already sending me fucking requests and shit online to be playing. Dudes I be smacking all the time, and now they want to send me friend requests when they need to go practice. But yeah, I'll make sure I get all those guys to you, and I'm gonna start a group chat so that when we advance in games and stuff like that, we can get in, you know, like on the party chat and talk shit.
All right. So yeah, if you got your PSN name or your Xbox name, send it to the Sauce line. If you want to be a part of the fantasy football, make sure you send your email to the Sauce line. I know I just got a couple, so I'm gonna add those after the game, and I'll make sure I'm gonna double check your email and make sure I get yours sent to you. I know, like I said, I've resent the emails today. But again, like I know PC Master Race is out there, and y'all won't ask. We ain't got nobody navigating that unless Voodoo Child is interested in something like that. But as far as Xbox and PSN, you know what I'm saying, we definitely have those both on lock. So y'all let us know. Just send that to the Sauce line. But with that being said, man, Mr. Hector, you got anything? Did you get a chance?
Shout out to everybody for being on it. Sorry my webcam's having some issues, but hopefully tomorrow will be a different story. But, you know, shout out to everybody, and congrats to Justin Verlander for getting his 200th career win. You know, it's a really huge milestone. Not many active players have reached that. Plus, he has over 25,000 strikeouts. So that's only two other players in the current MLB have achieved that. So it's pretty big for him to do that.
How many did you say?
There's only two active players in the MLB right now that have 200 career wins and 2,500 strikeouts.
That's what I was talking about. Damn, Jesus Christ.
And give him a brief update on that. that Dynamo game?
You down with OPP? Yeah, you know
Dynamo
me.
lost to Real Salt Lake. They could still make it to the playoffs. It'll probably be a 5th or 6th seed, but if they have to for the rest of the season, they just can't afford to lose any more games. It's winner draw from here on out, and draws are kind of being a little bit on the no side, like maybe 1 or 2 draws, but the rest have to be wins. And next month, obviously, is the U.S. Open Cup final, and hopefully some people have gotten their tickets. Like I said, man, it's going to be big. You know, first ever U.S. Open Cup final here in Houston, and it's the Dynamo's first ever U.S. Open Cup appearance. So that's really huge. And then this Thursday is actually going to be part 2 of the Texas Derby between FC Dallas and the Houston Dynamo. You know, hopefully the Dynamo can, you know, start a new look for them and get back into winning ways.
Hey, Hector, I thought Verlander was a Tiger, right, for the majority of his career, right?
Yeah, but it's still 200 career wins.
No. I'm not. Heidi was just talking about him retiring and going in the Hall of Fame as a Dodger.
Dodger.
As a Detroit Tiger?
Yeah, I don't trust the British or the Argentinians, whatever she is.
The
Them thug-ass motherfuckers too rough for me.
I mean, he could retire as a Tiger, mainly because that's been his career, but, you know, it just depends on the player who they want to retire with. I mean, Randy Johnson, he was a journeyman, but he retired with the Arizona Diamondbacks because that's where he got his World Series title. So, I mean, Verlander could retire an Astro, so it just depends where they want to retire. Well, I mean, it just depends where they want to represent for the Hall of Fame.
Altuve gonna be activated tomorrow too.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, what happened right there? Yeah, my bad. Hey, I forgot to mention this. September 1st, the kickoff, the Albuquerque kickoff, Texas Tech versus
I don't nobody care about no damn Texas Tech.
Hey man,
No.
Hey, hook 'em horns. Hook 'em horns. Fuck them Red Raiders.
I'm gonna be at the game, so message me. I'm doing something.
All about them Trojans.
So if y'all gonna be out there, let me know. Hit me up before y'all go, and I got y'all.
That's a BET. That's a BET. Shout out to Spitz, though. You know, don't nobody care about Tech, but he hold it down, man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to let nobody. I give Spitz that, man. We give him a hard time about the Magic. We give him a hard time about Tech. But he say fuck y'all. He going to hold it down, man. That's what's happening.
Already.
But with that being said, man, we're going to slide up out of here. Got a couple things to take care of. We're going to have a very interesting topic tonight. So in the Kush Den. So some of y'all gamers and technological freaks and things of that nature.
Eat them up, cats.
Voodoo, a bear cat. You know, let me know. Don't let me know. Make sure y'all slide through the den. We're gonna have a very interesting conversation about some things involving technology. Shout out to Heidi for the topic, but make sure y'all tune in to get it. But with that being said, everybody who just sent their email information for the I just got about 3 or 4 folks for the Fantasy Football League. I'll get y'all after this. But with that being said, we're going to chunk up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Sauce Nation, I appreciate y'all, man. Just to let y'all know the fact that y'all took the time fucking with us tonight, because time is the one asset that you can never recoup. And the fact that y'all spending stirring up some sauce with your folks, man, that is greatly appreciated. We'll be back at it tomorrow at 7 p.m. Make sure you tell a friend, tell your grandma. Some of y'all asses back at school. Tell all your folks, your people, your homeboys. Tell your teacher. Maybe it'll get your ass out of detention. But with that being said, we out.